Have you ever noticed certain habits creeping into your life as you get older? The ones nobody really talks about, but everyone seems to share. If you're in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, you might recognize a few of these patterns, even if you've never put them into words. In this video, we're going to reveal 9 unpleasant habits that tend to develop with age. Habits that can quietly make life less joyful, less connected, and sometimes even less healthy. If you or someone you care about is on this journey through the later years, I encourage you to stay tuned. We'll take a compassionate look at these common but often unspoken behaviors, why they happen, and what you can do to gently steer your life in a more positive direction. From subtle changes in attitude to surprising shifts in daily routines, every one of these habits has a story behind it, and you're certainly not alone. Stay with us until the end, because what you learn today may not only open your eyes, but help you regain more control, dignity, and happiness in your daily life. Sometimes shining a light on the habits we hide is the first step toward growth, healing, and a brighter chapter ahead. Now, let's get started. Number 1, becoming overly critical. As people age, it's surprisingly easy to slip into a habit of being overly critical of others, of the world, and sometimes even of yourself. Maybe it starts as just noticing little annoyances, the neighbor's overgrown yard, the noise from the television, or the way things aren't quite how they used to be. Over time, these small irritations can pile up, turning into a running commentary of complaints, judgments, and grumbling. Take the story of George, who's now 84. He used to be easygoing, but after retirement, he found himself nitpicking everything around him. How the grandkids left their shoes by the door, how store clerks bagged his groceries, even how his friends played cards. It became a reflex, and before long, people started to visit less often. George felt lonelier, but he didn't see the connection at first. This habit usually isn't about malice. It often grows from feeling a lack of control or frustration with changes that come with age. As routines shift and independence sometimes slips away, being critical can feel like a way to regain some sense of order. But the truth is, constant criticism builds walls instead of bridges. It can push away the people you care about most and leave you feeling isolated, misunderstood, or unheard. You might not be able to stop every critical thought, but you can choose how you respond. When you catch yourself about to voice a complaint, pause and ask, "Is this worth saying? Can I see it differently?" Shifting from judgment to curiosity or simply letting a small annoyance go can create more space for gratitude and connection. The people around you will feel it, and so will you. Number 2, withdrawing from social invitations. Withdrawing from social invitations is a habit that can sneak up on anyone in their later years. At first, it might just be skipping a family dinner because you feel tired or turning down a neighbor's offer to play cards. Over time, it becomes easier to say no than to say yes, and you might find yourself spending more time alone than you ever expected. Consider Helen, who is 79 and always enjoyed being part of her church group and community center. As she got older, she started declining invitations. Sometimes because she didn't want to drive at night, sometimes because she felt self-conscious about her hearing aids or her slower pace. The more she said no, the harder it became to reach out until her days felt empty and her world grew small. Social withdrawal often stems from changes in health, mobility, or confidence. But it can quickly spiral into loneliness and even depression. The less you interact with others, the less connected you feel. And that sense of disconnection can have real consequences for your emotional and physical health. It's important to remember that even small steps back toward social engagement can make a world of difference. If you feel anxious about large gatherings, start with a phone call or invite one friend for coffee. Allow yourself to show up imperfectly. Everyone understands that life changes with age, and most people are grateful for your presence, not your perfection. Making the effort to stay socially involved will keep your mind sharper, your heart lighter, and your days far more meaningful. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, Please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 3, neglecting personal appearance. Neglecting personal appearance is one of those habits that can quietly settle in as you age, often without you even noticing. Maybe it starts with skipping a shave here and there, or not bothering to put on a fresh shirt in the morning. Sometimes it's letting your hair grow longer than usual, or deciding that old, comfortable clothes are good enough for every occasion. This change isn't about vanity. It's about how you feel on the inside. For some, like Arthur at 81, it began after his wife passed away. He saw little reason to fuss over his clothes or style, telling himself that no one really noticed anyway. But as the months went by, Arthur found his mood sinking and his energy fading. It wasn't until a friend coaxed him to get a haircut and pick out a new sweater that he realized how much his self-image had slipped. The way you present yourself sends powerful messages not just to others, but to your own mind. Taking time to care for your appearance isn't shallow. It's a daily act of self-respect and self-care. Looking in the mirror and seeing someone neat and put together reminds you that you still matter no matter your age or situation. If this habit sounds familiar, start small. Try setting out your clothes the night before, or treating yourself to a new haircut. Even these little steps can lift your spirits, boost your confidence, and gently remind you that you're worth the effort. You might be surprised at how this simple change can spark more positive habits in every corner of your life. Number 4, clinging to old grievances. Clinging to old grievances is a habit that can slowly weigh down your heart, cloud your mind, and even impact your health as the years pass. Many older adults find themselves replaying arguments, betrayals, or disappointments from decades ago, sometimes even more often than when they first happened. The stories replay in your mind, sometimes growing larger or more painful with each retelling. Think about Mildred, now 80, who often recounted how her sister once let her down when they were both young mothers. For years, this memory colored every family gathering, making even happy moments feel bittersweet. Mildred's resentment wasn't just about the past. It created distance in the present, leaving her feeling lonely and misunderstood. This habit of holding on to old hurts is rarely intentional. Sometimes it's an attempt to make sense of life's disappointments or protect yourself from future pain. But the cost is high. Chronic anger and resentment can increase stress, damage relationships, and even harm your physical health. Studies have shown that letting go, whether through forgiveness, acceptance, or simply choosing not to dwell, can lower blood pressure, reduce anxiety, and make room for more peace. If you notice yourself falling into this pattern, give yourself permission to let go, even if it's just a little at a time. Try writing a letter you never send, talking it through with someone you trust, or finding new ways to create happy memories that gently push out the old. Remember, freeing yourself from old grievances isn't for the person who hurt you. It's a gift you give yourself, creating more space for joy and connection in the years ahead. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 5, hoarding unnecessary items. Hoarding unnecessary items is a habit that tends to grow quietly as the years go by, often for reasons that make perfect sense at the time. Maybe you keep every birthday card, stack old newspapers in the corner, or hold on to broken appliances just in case. These items pile up, turning spare rooms into storage spaces and cluttering shelves with memories and might needs. Eleanor, who is 82, remembers how her parents struggled during the Depression, and she finds it nearly impossible to throw anything away. Her closets are packed with things she might one day need, gifts she never used, and clothes from decades past. She tells herself that every object holds meaning or serves a purpose, But the mounting clutter has made her home feel smaller, harder to clean, and less inviting for family and friends. The urge to keep things is often rooted in the wisdom of a lifetime memories, lessons in thrift, or simply wanting to be prepared. But when possessions take over your living space, they can begin to weigh down your mind and spirit. Clutter is linked to increased stress, anxiety, and even falls or health risks. If you see yourself in this pattern, take it one small step at a time. Set aside a few minutes each day to sort through a single drawer or shelf. Ask a friend or family member to help or donate items to someone who could use them. Releasing things that no longer serve you doesn't erase your history. It makes more space for living well right now, and it gives your loved ones the gift of a home filled with comfort rather than chaos. Number 6. Dwelling on health complaints. Dwelling on health complaints is a habit that can easily become a centerpiece of conversation and daily thought as you age. Many older adults find themselves focusing more and more on aches, pains, and ailments. While it's perfectly reasonable to discuss your health and seek solutions, it's all too easy for these concerns to dominate. Not just your mind, but your interactions with others. Consider Martin, 79, who began mentioning his arthritis at every lunch with friends. Soon, the talk turned from old hobbies and funny stories to a litany of medical updates and doctor visits. Before long, even close companions found it harder to enjoy their time together, and Martin noticed the invitations dwindled. This pattern isn't a sign of weakness. It often grows from a very real place of discomfort, frustration, or even fear about the future. Sharing your struggles can bring support, but constantly dwelling on them can reinforce a sense of helplessness and drain the energy from relationships. Try to notice when health talk is taking over and make an intentional effort to bring other topics to the table. Old memories, books, family updates, or even hopes for the future. Stay proactive about your well-being by following up with your healthcare team. But give yourself and your loved ones permission to focus on joys and interests outside of medical concerns. Life is bigger than your aches and pains, and nurturing your sense of humor, curiosity, and gratitude can be just as healing as any medicine. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 7. Avoiding new technology. Avoiding new technology is a habit that many older adults fall into, often without realizing how much it limits their independence and connection to the world. Maybe it starts with a reluctance to try a smartphone, skipping out on video calls with grandkids, or feeling overwhelmed by online banking or grocery shopping. The result is a shrinking world, one where opportunities for convenience, learning, and staying in touch slowly slip away. Let's look at Alan, who is 83 and prided himself on being self-sufficient. He avoided computers and smartphones, convinced they were too complicated and not meant for him. But as his friends began using email and his family moved their holiday gatherings online, Alan found himself increasingly out of the loop. It wasn't until his neighbor patiently showed him how to use a tablet that he realized what he was missing. Photos from his grandkids, daily news, and even new friendships through online groups. Learning something new can be intimidating at any age, but technology is a powerful tool for staying connected, informed, and independent. You don't have to master everything. Start by choosing one thing that would genuinely make your life easier or more joyful. Whether it's sending text messages, joining a video call, or reading books on a tablet, ask a family member, friend, or even a local librarian to walk you through the basics. Most people are happy to help, and you'll find that the confidence you gain from mastering one new skill often carries over into other parts of your life. Staying open to technology isn't about keeping up with every trend. It's about keeping yourself engaged, empowered, and part of the world around you. Number 8. Fearing change and clinging to routines. Fearing change and clinging to routines is an all-too common habit among older adults, one that can seem harmless but quietly drains life of its richness. The familiar brings comfort. A morning cup of coffee in the same chair, lunch at the same time, evening shows on the same channel. But as comforting as these rituals may be, over time they can become a barrier that keeps new joys and discoveries out of reach. Joanne, 81, followed her schedule to the minute. She walked the same block, ate the same sandwich, and visited the same shops. When her daughter suggested trying a new exercise class, Joanne resisted, worrying about being out of place. It wasn't until a power outage one afternoon forced her to try a nearby cafe that she discovered a new favorite meal and made a new friend, simply by being somewhere she never would have chosen on her own. It's not about giving up routines altogether. Healthy habits are part of what keep you grounded, especially in the face of life's changes. But when fear of the unknown turns routines into rigid rules, life can start to feel small and predictable. The ability to adapt, try new things, and allow for the unexpected is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself as you age. Start by making a small change. Take a different path on your walk, listen to a new kind of music, or invite someone new to join you for lunch. Allowing for a little uncertainty keeps your brain flexible, your spirit curious, and your days full of potential surprises. When you welcome change, you open yourself up to the full spectrum of life's experiences at any age. Number 9. Ignoring emotional needs. Ignoring emotional needs is a subtle but serious habit that often emerges as people grow older. For decades, you may have focused on providing for your family, maintaining your health, or keeping up with daily responsibilities, sometimes at the expense of your own feelings. Over time, you might start to suppress sadness, anxiety, or even loneliness, telling yourself to tough it out or not burden others. But those unspoken feelings don't disappear. They simply go underground, surfacing as restlessness, irritability, or a lingering sense that something's missing. Take Ruth, who is 85. She was known for her strength and independence, but after her husband passed away, she felt a quiet ache she couldn't put into words. Ruth didn't want to seem weak, so she kept busy, but the sadness didn't lift. It wasn't until a neighbor gently encouraged her to join a grief support group that Ruth found the relief she needed. Talking openly about her feelings, both the pain and the hope, helped her rediscover peace and connection. Emotional needs are as real and important as physical ones. Ignoring them can lead to withdrawal, anxiety, sleep problems, and even poor health. It's not a sign of weakness to seek support or talk about your feelings. In fact, it's one of the bravest things you can do at any age. Reach out to a friend, a counselor, or a group that understands what you're going through. Write down your thoughts in a journal, or share your story with someone you trust. Giving yourself permission to feel and express your emotions is a powerful act of self-care, and it's a habit that can bring comfort, meaning, and healing to every season of your life. Final thoughts. As we come to the end of this exploration, I want to remind you that recognizing these 9 unpleasant habits is not about criticism or blame. It's about awareness, understanding, and the possibility of positive change. No matter how many candles are on your birthday cake, every one of us has fallen into some of these patterns at times, often for good reasons and with the best intentions. But every day is a new chance to choose connection over isolation, kindness over criticism, and growth over comfort. Think about which habits resonated most with you today. Is there one that feels especially familiar, or perhaps one you'd like to gently set aside? Remember, making small changes, letting go of old grievances, reaching out for company, trying something new, or even just tending to your emotional well-being can create a ripple effect, bringing more light, joy, and meaning into your days. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.